Now at noon, the governor is signing several law enforcement related bills into law. Plus, gas prices continue to skyrocket here in Arkansas and across the country. The impact it's having on people's lives. A claim that at-home COVID tests contain a lethal ingredient going viral this week. We verify whether it's true. In a big week for Survivor fans, we're getting a sneak peek at tomorrow night's season 42 premiere. That's at 12:17. Hard to believe it's been on that long. Good afternoon. Thanks for watching THV 11 News at Noon. I'm Michael Aaron with meteorologist Nathan Scott over in the Weather Center. Kind of shaping up to be a little bit of a gloomy afternoon. Might even see some rain, right?
Good afternoon to you, Michael. Yeah, we start off the day with plenty of sun. Now the clouds are rolling their way in here quickly from the south and southwest. The sunshine is fading. Temperatures on the cool side into the 40s. It's 45 right now in Searcy, 47 in Little Rock, 44 in Hot Springs. And I think we have reached the high for the day because as this rain moves in, that's going to stop the temperatures from rising much at all. But you see a solid area of rain now along Interstate 30 approaching Arkadelphia. It is raining in Texarkana and even a little bit of pink or blue showing up in the higher elevations of the Ouachita. So there could be even some sleet pellets or a few snowflakes flying around in the highest terrain. This rain will continue to scoop its way up to the north and northeast throughout the day. So it's going to be a wet evening commute around the region. This is a fast moving system. It'll be out of here later this evening and will clear things out going into tonight. Looking ahead to the next system, though, that one's going to have more cold air to work with. And yes, we are looking at the potential of some possible impacts of winter weather, most likely snow in parts of the state. I'll have more on that wintry forecast later this week coming up.
All right, Nathan, now to a developing story. Little Rock police are investigating an overnight homicide on Overby Circle. This is new video into our newsroom. According to investigators, officers responded to reports of a cutting around 2 o'clock this morning. One person was killed. We are working to learn more about the incident and we'll keep you updated. New at noon, Governor Asa Hutchinson has signed 2 bills benefiting law enforcement officers into law.
So this is Senate Bill 103 that creates the stipend grants.
The governor gave final approval to 2 pieces of legislation this morning. One increases the general revenue budget for Arkansas State Police. The other authorizes a $5,000 one-time payment to full-time certified law enforcement officers. You can learn more about that stipend right now on thv-at-noon.com. AAA says gas prices hit a nationwide average of more than $4.17 a gallon today. That is the most expensive gas has ever been. And today the president is announcing a new Russian oil ban, which will likely drive those prices up even further. All of this comes as the war in Ukraine is having the biggest impact on innocent civilians. Natalie Brand has the very latest from the White House.
President Biden announced the U.S. is now banning Russian oil imports into the country.
That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine.
The administration had been reluctant to take the step out of concern over soaring gas prices, but the White House has been under increasing political and public pressure to enact the ban. No Russian oil! A new national poll shows the majority of Americans, around 71%, say they support the ban, even if it means paying more for gas.
As far as I'm concerned, gas prices are irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that we take a stand.
The European Union is not expected to follow suit. Europe relies on Russia for about 40% of its energy.
The United States produces far more oil domestically than all the European countries combined. In fact, we're a net exporter of energy. So we can take this step when others cannot.
National security officials tell CBS News the U.S. is documenting war crimes against Russia, including targeting civilians trying to escape, as well as those remaining in Ukrainian cities.
Russian forces are at the very least operating with reckless disregard for the safety of non-combatants, as Russian units launch artillery and airstrikes into urban areas as they have done in cities across Ukraine.
Civilians attempted to flee Ukrainian cities under siege using newly established safety corridors.
Many more people are trying to flee, but can't get out of besieged areas. There continue to be reports of shelling by Russian forces on agreed upon humanitarian corridors.
More than 2 million people have made it out of Ukraine since the war began nearly 2 weeks ago. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The United Kingdom says it will phase out Russian oil by the end of 2022. Meanwhile, Russia says it may shut off the flow of natural gas to Europe in response to sanctions. People here in Arkansas are not immune to the skyrocketing gas prices. According to Gas Buddy, the average price per gallon is $3.78, already up about 4 cents today alone, and don't expect relief anytime soon. One local economist shares how high fuel costs can have a big impact on daily life.
Anytime there's a significant increase in the price of gasoline, that acts almost like a tax on a household budget, where households have fewer resources, less money left to buy everything else that's in their budget.
Analysts at Yardeni Research estimate that the recent surge could add up to $2,000 in additional annual cost to the typical household budget. Coupled with the squeeze of inflation and already high prices of food and household items, some lawmakers say it's time for the government to step in and suspend the gas tax. While all eyes are on gas prices, get ready for the cost of other goods to go up as well. Arkansas's own Riceland Foods is one of the largest processors for grain and rice. It's already feeling disruptions to the supply chain. Now the company also expects demand and prices to soar while Russia and Ukraine are at war. To put things into perspective, prices have doubled for some grain products in just the last few weeks. It's been almost 2 years since Arkansas doctors reported the state's first case of COVID-19. We're still dealing with the virus today, but we are making some progress following January's Omicron surge. Right now, 3,000 Arkansans are battling COVID-19. The number has not been that low since last June, right before the Delta variant showed up. 329 people are still in the state's hospitals this afternoon, a number we haven't seen since last November. The number that's unfortunately still climbing, though, that's our deaths. 11 more were added to the state's total yesterday. That number now just sits below a total of 11,000. The government will soon start shipping another round of COVID-19 tests to all Americans who want one. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team explains what you need to know about claims that they contain a potentially lethal ingredient.
Health officials tout at-home rapid COVID-19 tests as a first line of defense against the pandemic. The tests allow users to take their own sample and then get a result within 15 minutes. Some social media users saying that convenience can come at a cost in the form of a lethal ingredient used to generate the result.
So let's verify. Do some at-home COVID-19 tests contain a lethal ingredient?
Our sources are the Upstate Poison Center, the Cincinnati Drug and Poison Information Center, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Capital Poison Center. When you do a rapid home test, the kit requires users to collect a sample and place it on a tray. Then you have to mix a liquid reagent with the sample to make a reaction, which generates a positive or negative result. The Upstate Poison Center says the liquid reagent in many tests contains sodium azide, which the CDC calls a potentially dangerous chemical. But all three poison centers say the test kits contain such a small amount of sodium azide that most people will not become seriously ill if they use the test improperly, such as ingesting the solution. Cincinnati poison experts saying the two most common calls about COVID home tests they get are either about children who ingest the liquid or adults who mistake the test bottle for eye drops. The National Center said it also received calls from people who put the solution up their nose or spilled it on their finger. In every case, the person suffered either no to mild irritation.
So it's true. Some rapid at-home COVID-19 tests contain a very small amount of a poisonous ingredient, but the tests are perfectly safe when used correctly.
Most people have no or mild symptoms if they incorrectly touch or ingest the dangerous ingredient. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
All right, Brandon, let's get to some other news this afternoon. People in several states, including Arkansas, are suing Family Dollar following a rodent infestation at one of its distribution centers over in West Memphis. That discovery led all Arkansas Family Dollar stores to temporarily close and prompted recalls on several products. The lawsuits claim no person or animal should have ever come in contact with the tainted products. They also accuse the company of keeping quiet because of, quote, corporate greed. Family Dollar has not responded to the lawsuits yet. The city of Pine Bluff officially has a new police chief. Last night, Pine Bluff Mayor Shirley Washington announced that Lloyd Franklin Sr. will officially become the city's top cop. He's been the interim chief since July. Franklin has worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. That includes work for Arkansas State Police. Some exciting news for sports fans just in time for March Madness. The first mobile gambling site is now live in the state. Southland Casino was the first to launch an online betting option in Arkansas. The Betley online sportsbook went live Monday morning. You have to use a web browser to access that. The casino says a mobile app for Android and iPhones is expected soon. We're still waiting for Saracen's online sports betting app to launch. The casino tweeted Monday that the app is ready, but that it's waiting on approval from Apple, Google, and Visa. And at last check this morning, that has not happened yet. Oaklawn's general manager told us last week they hope to have their mobile betting app up within the next few months. So far, there's no update to their timeline. Survivor returns tomorrow night with a new group of castaways. What to expect from this season coming up. And we know Nathan Scott's back.
I'm looking forward to that, Michael. I'm not looking forward to the forecast, though, because you see the clouds. They have been on the increase. Rain is about to move into central Arkansas for this afternoon. And then we got to look ahead and talk about we're not done with winter weather just yet here. I'll have more on those details next.